All right. So we have one person so far, and oh, what? And that one person left. We had one person twice, and they left. They were like, "We're out." I don't know what that means. They just what does that mean that you're also intimidating that they were like, "I'm out"?
I bet they're gonna wait till 3.
Yeah, that could be. That could be. Well, welcome, Melissa.
Hi. I got to set up here. Thought I'd pop in. I'm in Italy, so it's really hard for me to. We'd have to get up in the middle of the night to join some of the earlier ones. So.
Yeah, what time is it there now?
9.
Oh, okay. That's not that bad.
No, but some of the earlier ones, we're 6 hours ahead, so I wanted to join a couple of the other ones, but I want to wake up the house.
So we're probably going to start up in another couple of minutes and see if other folks join us. But we have all of our student leaders here that you can see right now. Hopefully, you can see right now. And
I can't wait. Let's see. Oh yeah, okay.
So
Hi, everybody. One guy's got the mask on. I didn't get my mask. It's probably still in the mail somewhere.
they're pretty cool masks. Roosevelt,
Yeah,
you must be in a common room, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Where are you in Italy right now?
Rome.
Awesome.
We're
I was
on
studying
the-
abroad last semester in spring, so I got sent home, but Rome was absolutely beautiful.
Oh, that's right. Everybody got sent home and brought the virus with them, right?
Yes.
Would have been better if they left
15,000 of us
everybody
got
here.
sent home in the same week and carried it all
That wasn't a very
back.
good idea. Wasn't a good idea. I know there's no students here now. I mean, Rome is just empty. It's
I'm
just
sure.
for Romans, and now we have. I think yesterday there were 10,000 cases, and I don't know what it is today. I'm afraid to even look. But I just heard on the news Paris had 32,000 cases. So
Oh, wow.
they're shutting everything down early. I think the nightlife stops at 10, and just trying to make different changes like that without throwing people into a complete lockdown, which wasn't fun.
Right.
Here we go again.
Absolutely.
You want to go out, you're like, you're nervous. I don't know if it's the same in the States, but you walk down the street and people make a big arc around you, which is so different for Italians, because Italians are so, how can I say, needy to speak to each other and talk to each other and hug
Very
each other.
closely,
kiss each other. Yeah. So it's just a torture for them. I don't know. Every time my husband comes home, I'm like, get in the shower. Just wash everything. You don't know. You don't know what's going to happen. So we'll see. How about you guys? Where is everybody there? Are you all in the school? Now, are they doing classes like normal, or do you do some classes online or some classes in presence? How does it work?
A lot of it depends on what type of class you have. So like some teachers offer the Zoom option. They're like, if a class is too big, they'll split it up, and like you'll go into a classroom and Zoom in and one day, and then the next day you'll be in the classroom with the teacher. So it's definitely
physically in the classroom with the teacher.
Yeah, it's definitely different from past years, but I think for the most part, for my classes, it's been going pretty smoothly. So
now, are you all living in dormitories too, like on campus? Do they test you frequently, or how that they do every week or every day?
So what they're doing now is they're calling it surveillance testing. So basically, right when we first got here, everyone was required to have a test right when they got here to make sure you're not carrying the virus with you on campus. And then after that system was kind of implemented, they are randomizing everybody's student ID numbers. And I think they're picking like 25 roughly a week and testing those Basically, it's pool testing. So if the pool shows up negative, everybody's fine. If the pool shows up, that there is some positive genetic material for the virus, then they retest everybody individually to see, which people in that pool of testing were the ones that had the virus. So.
And what happens if they do find somebody? Do they put them into a quarantine and feed them like a hotel situation? Have you had any cases there?
I'm not.
You
go ahead, Dottie.
Andrew.
No, go ahead.
Okay. So when we first got here during that initial round of testing, we had one student test positive, but she was still in the initial quarantine phase. So her and her roommate were just sent home to wait it out, and they weren't allowed to come back until they were retested, I believe, twice with negative results. And then I think a couple weeks ago, we had one more positive case, but the student wasn't on campus and it didn't spread beyond herself because she contracted it from home. And then recently in one of the pool samples, there was a weak positive, which they think meant that someone could be developing the virus, but we haven't heard anything yet since they were retesting everyone. But in that retesting phase, all of those students are quarantining. And so when like a student's quarantining, the dining hall, like they'll send out a menu and you get to choose breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and they'll make sure you have everything you need.
Brought to your room?
Yes.
Now, what about the roommate? The roommate moves out, right? Obviously.
Typically, the roommate will end up having to quarantine too because that means they were in very close contact. But we do have quarantine housing on campus. We're using a separate building right now, so students can be taken there and quarantined there.
Oh gosh, it's so strange. I feel so bad for kids in university now because it's just not fair what you're going through because the actual experience is so different and it should be so much fun. It shouldn't be tiptoeing around a virus. But I have two children in university as well. And, my son, I don't think he just orders everything out. He stays online. He's in Holland, in University of Delft, technology. And he's got his own apartment. He can do everything online. But, his experience of living abroad and living on his own and meeting kids, it's just not fair. It just makes your heart cry. Anyway, but you'll be stronger through it after this. Always some good things that come out of it. The world is changing, and you guys are going to be the ones who are going to make the change, not us old farts. Dave, where are you? Where are you in the school, in the college?
I am not at the college right now. Half the week I live at the college, and half the week I'm at home in Durham, New Hampshire. You're in my I guess what you would call my basement. So I have a little home office here as well. Just so I can introduce myself and then everybody else will introduce themselves. My name is Dave Zemansky and I'm the new residential education director here at Colby Sawyer College. When I say here, I really mean at Colby Sawyer College. I am so happy to be at Colby Sawyer College with all the students and the community. It's like a new family that I've had since August 10th, which is amazing. I'm here to help facilitate this student leader panel. And it would be great if all the students would introduce themselves, say their major, what year they are, and what they're involved in at Colby Sawyer, so that our guests, Kendra, Dan, Tom, Paula, Melissa, can all hear what you're involved in, and then we'll open it up for questions. But we'll also have other people introduce themselves too. We can start with Roosevelt, since he is in my top left corner of my screen.
Sure, Dave, I'll go first. My name is Roosevelt Harris Williams, and I am a Chicago native, born and raised in Chicago, 19 years. All the way from Chicago, I come to Colby Sawyer, majoring in business administration, and I have a minor in political science here. I played many roles on campus, vice president of Student Government Association. I'm a peer mentor, a teacher assistant for a FIS class, advancement ambassador, presidential Blue Key Society member. I'm a part of the EDI task force here on campus, African Student Association, and that is about it.
And Roosevelt, what does EDI stand for, just in case people don't know?
Equity, Division, Inclusive Task Force.
There you go. Thank you, Roosevelt.
Yeah, no problem.
Andrew, you're right next to me on the screen.
Yeah. Hi, everybody. I'm Andrew Broning. I'm a senior business administration major. I'm from Mount Olive, New Jersey. I'm also getting my minor in accounting and finance. I'm a member of Presidential Blue Key Society as well as Roosevelt. I am a student ambassador. I am a advancement ambassador. I'm also a captain on the men's soccer team. And I am the vice president of SAC, which is the Student Athlete Advisory Committee.
Thank you, Andrew. Alex?
Hi, everyone. I'm Alex Karp. I'm from Colchester, Vermont. I'm a junior bio pre-med major. I'm a tutor at the Student Learning Collaborative. I'm on the men's soccer team, and I am also a student ambassador.
All right. And bless you, Dottie. You're next.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. I'm Dottie Langto. I'm a senior business administration major with a minors in sustainability and healthcare management. I'm on the field hockey team. I'm a student ambassador, advancement ambassador, also a member of the Presidential Blue Key Society. I was inducted this year. And then I'm also the president of SAC, which is the Student Athletic Advisory Committee, like Andrew said.
Thank you, Dottie. Becca?
Hi, I'm Becca Herrera from Nashua, New Hampshire. I'm a sophomore nursing student. I am a student ambassador. I'm a member of the Presidential Blue Key Society. I am the on-campus chair for CSC Players, our theater group on campus. And I'm also a member of Improv Anonymous, which is our improv group on campus.
Danny?
Hi, everyone. I'm Danny McChrystal. I'm a senior exercise science major. I'm a catcher on the baseball team. I work with Dottie and Andrew in SAC. I'm the secretary for SAC. I'm also the senior class representative for that ESS club, which is Exercise and Sports Sciences. I've been involved in orientation for 3 years. The last 2 years, I was a board member, so I worked directly with the campus activities board in organizing orientation in that way. And then my freshman year, I was also a part of the Emerging Leaders group.
Leah?
Hi, I'm Leah. I'm a senior business administration major and communication studies major with a double minor in contemporary marketing and film studies. I'm from Malden, Massachusetts, which is like 5 miles outside Boston. And what do? I am currently the class of 2021 secretary in SGA. I've been in SGA since my freshman year. I've been involved with Peer Mentor since my sophomore year, which is kind of a mentorship program on campus that started about 4 or 5 years ago. And this year I'm like the peer pod coordinator. I've also worked for the Office of Marketing and Communications as a student worker. So I take photos, videos. I've been doing the COVID stuff. The Roosevelt's mask, I made that little logo. Victor, he's my boy. And that's my pride and joy. And then I also help run the social media there. And I also was inducted into Presidential Blue Key Society this year. And I'm also a student representative on the Equity, Diversity, and Inclusion Task Force as well. And I'm going to be on the policy committee, I believe. So.
Thank you,
So
Leah.
accomplished. Wow.
Thank you.
Leah, I was born in Malden, Massachusetts.
Were you actually?
I was.
That's crazy.
Totally.
Small world.
Totally. So we also, since we have a small group and we have some guests with us, Paula, would you like to introduce yourself and say what class you're from?
Sure. And as usual, I'm driving again, so I had to stop again. I'm always on the road. So my name is Paula Magnanti. I actually was a graduate of '79, which seems like a long time ago. It was 40 years ago or so. And I was in Best Dorm. My major at the time was Associate of Science in Medical Assisting. So I graduated with that and went on to become a medical technologist at Northeastern, and then started my own consult. I did some lab sales and started my own consulting 20 years ago. And I came to the reunion last year, the 40th reunion, and it was great. And I'm looking forward to starting initiative with the past president's advisory council in a couple of weeks. So I'm thrilled, and I'm so impressed with every single one of you. So thank you for inviting me.
No problem. And Kendra, like I can see that you're from Bridgeton, Maine, class of '98, and you're folding laundry. Is there anything else that you'd like to share with us?
No, class of '98. I was a psych major, and after college, I went and lived in Boston for a while. Then moved to North Carolina when I got married, and now I'm in Maine. I'm a children's case manager, so I work with kids with autism and developmental delays. I run a support group. I kind of got my hands in everything. But Colby Sawyer was awesome. I had 4 wonderful years. I was an RA in Lawson Hall 2 years. It was New Hall back then. I was there for the first 2 years. Got to do the dedication. I don't know if the book is there or not, but we did like a whole dedication scrapbook and stuff like that for it. So. But you guys all sound really accomplished, so I'm impressed. Thank you for having me.
And Melissa, do you want to reintroduce yourself?
Okay, my name is Melissa Buckley. Before I was married, and from the class of '82. I only stayed for 2 years because when I was there, it was an all-girls college. I think there are actually 3 guys only in the college, but they weren't allowed to live on campus. And I don't know what year it went co-ed. But does anyone know?
I believe
was
it was
90?
Yeah.
The 90. It was all girls.
The year that I went in '94, that was the first class with graduating males.
Okay. Yeah. Anyway, it was a completely different place. It's been impressive to watch the college develop and grow, and seeing all these accomplished kids that come out of the college. The nursing program hadn't even been started. I probably would have gone into the nursing program. I was a medical science major, but I really didn't know what I wanted to do. I actually should have majored in art because I'm a painter now. And I live in Rome and teach English. I used my medical degree for raising my children when they were sick, so it comes in handy. But I remember when I was there, it's kind of a sad story, but when I was there, my dad died in the second year, and I was supposed to do that internship. I don't know if they still do the internship, but it was to go to either like an island or to Rome, and I had to cancel my trip, and it was supposed to be in Rome with the art teacher. I can't remember her name. And I always wanted to come here, and now I live here, so I kind of fulfilled that dream. And I was actually interested in seeing, I don't know if they still do these programs to Rome, but I'd be really happy to help out if they ever bring kids over for the internship to Rome. I could be some sort of an ambassador for the city and help the college in that way. So I should talk to Tracy about it. I was a class correspondent for years, but I ended up dropping that because nobody was writing to me and sending information. So I was just writing about myself, and we went on to other activities. And now this is my first year. I'm an empty nester. My kids are out, and I'm thinking about going back to work, but you can't really find a job anywhere right now because everything is closed. There's no tourists. So it's kind of, you just have to keep busy. And you're lucky to be in school and to be able to do something, to be studying. And you just got to keep moving forward. You can't be positive. That's the most important thing. Anyway, that's my life. My husband, I'm married an Italian. That's why I'm here. He's a professor in the University of Rome here in engineering, civil engineering, and he got a PhD from MIT. And so when our son was born and he was finished with school, we moved to Milan and then to Rome. And I'm still here. We were supposed to only be here for 1.5 years, and it's been now 22 years. So I think I'm here for a while. anyway,
And
you
Melissa,
guys all are really accomplished, and it's really amazing to meet you guys and see the college in this way. I'm really happy that I joined the conversation.
and
Really.
Melissa, I knew Dan was taking notes. He's going to pass your name along.
Yeah, no, not really, because
No.
I have time now, and so if I can use my make the offer to help out in any way, I'm really happy to do it. Some sort of a liaison.
And
Anytime.
Dan, do you want to introduce yourself?
Sure. Hi, everyone. I'm Dan Parrish. I'm the Vice President for College Advancement. And Melissa and Paula, I agree. These students are incredibly accomplished. Every time I hear them describe what they're doing, it just reminds me how little I did at age 19 or 20. So it's just great. I've been at Colby Sawyer for 3 years. My mom was a graduate of Colby Junior College, 1959. So I have known the place as an outsider for a long time. It's a pleasure to work with the students that you're meeting here online, and really appreciate them taking the time to answer questions and talk to you all about what they're doing here.
Thanks, Dan. And Diane, would you like to introduce yourself?
Where did Diane go?
I don't know, but if you do, just let us know. And how about T. Keeley? I think I know who that is, but I just want to make sure.
Yeah, hello. Oops, I think my video is off. I don't know if you can hear me or not.
We can.
Yeah, so I'm a professor at Colby Sawyer, and I'm here because, although I see students periodically in the halls in my small literature class, I don't actually know entirely what's happening on campus, in the residence halls, et cetera. Just because of the virus, everything is compartmentalized. And I agree with Dan entirely that the students, especially the students here, represented here, but the students at Colby Sawyer are really accomplished, well-spoken, and it's always a pleasure to work with them. So thanks for having me.
Thank you. And Smriti, I know we lost you for a second, but now you're back. So can you introduce yourself, give us your year and your major and what you're involved in?
Hi, for sure. I was having some trouble with my internet. I am Smriti Sapkota. I am an international student from Nepal. I am a junior nursing major here at Colby Sawyer. I am involved in the Student Government Association. I am a part of the e-board. I'm the president of Cross Cultural Club. And I have a few jobs here and there on campus. I am the student ambassador, and I work for the international admissions, and I'm a peer mentor for the first year students as well.
So as you can see, we have a wealth of experience and knowledge of Colby Sawyer College with us. So this is up to all of our guests. If you want to ask questions to our student leaders, they are ready and willing to answer your questions. So who has questions?
I do. Do they still do those traditions? And I was also the class secretary. I don't even know how I got elected. I think I was the only one that ran. And there was a big ceremony with like a big stagecoach. And we came out, we were all presented on this stagecoach in front of the back of Colgate. Do they still do those traditions or no? No.
I mean, for inductions for student government?
Yeah.
Oh no! Oh my
God! Do that?
No, we just do a low-key meeting, like in whatever room we're meeting in. So this year, it's in Ivy. So we just had a thing where President Stubner came and Vice President Robin Davis came, and they gave a little spiel at the end. But they kind of just like inducted us. I think we did little goodies, and we got like little bags with like the bottom. And it has like a notebook and a pen in it. But that's like the most that we've done in the past 4 years was these little things that we put together last year.
Oh, wow.
Nothing as big as a stagecoach or anything.
Because the college had a lot of different traditions. I remember even each dormitory had like a dormitory song and to, I don't know, the freshmen that came in, they bring them out at night and they do this sort of crazy evening with them. Do they still do that or no? I think that's Maybe
Well, we
just
do
was left in the girls' college.
or convocation. I think I'm mixing it up, but convocation for freshmen, right? Yeah, convocation for freshmen. And it's like a reverse graduation. But this year we couldn't really have a in-person one on the quad, so they did a virtual convocation, which was really nice, and they had all the speakers that would have spoke on the quad, and we all zoomed in.
Okay.
Yeah, so the convocation occurs during orientation typically. It's like it's the first thing they do after they get moved in. They line up behind Colgate where you were talking about before, and then everybody like walks through, and it's a really nicely done, organized thing. We have speakers, and President Stupner welcomes everybody to this campus. All the orientation leaders sit in the back. The board members lead the thing. It's actually like what Leah said, a reverse graduation, and it's really nice. It's a great way. It's a good tradition that it's actually fairly new too. I think we only
it started our freshman year.
Yeah, we started it our freshman year, so. And it's come a long way, and it's been great all 4 years that we've done it, and expect even this year when we had to adapt and go online. The president, she's not here, but she gave an amazing speech during it, so it was great.
How about Mountain Day? Do you still do Mountain Day? Yes.
Yeah.
Did you guys get to adopt the the freshmen this year?
Yeah, little sister.
Yeah.
Had little sister.
I'm still wicked close to the people that I adopt.
Wicked. You must be from Maine. My roommate was from Maine. Say Wicked.
Yeah, I'm from Boston, New England.
All right.
So you guys didn't get to do the adoption this year?
We don't even do that. I think the closest thing to that is peer mentors.
You don't do it at all?
Mm-mm.
Oh, that's the best part of it. All the upperclassmen get to set up this whole thing with an adoption ceremony, and you adopted freshmen. So I have a big sister, and then my sophomore year, my roommate and I together adopted somebody, which the three of us are super close still. And then so every year you end up with a big sister and then a younger sibling, and that's kind of like mentoring each other. But I mean, those are friendships that lasted forever.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
That sounds so cool. That's totally something I would love to do.
Yep. But it was
which dormitory? Dormitories are you in?
Freshman year I was in Abbey, and then my sophomore year I was in Shepherd, and then junior and senior I was an RA in Lawson Hall or New Hall at that time. So, but yeah, it was a lot of fun. So all 4 years we adopted. All 3 years I adopted somebody, and I got
moved around. I was in Colby. I was in Colby dorm.
You were in Colby.
And I remember who was Miss Irving. I think she's now retired, right? Rebecca Irving. She's still in the college.
Becky just turned 100 years old.
100, right? And she's actually related to John Irving, the one who wrote The World According to Garp. I don't know if you know that. She's hilarious.
Oh.
And she told us that she was in Colby dorm, and that outside Colby, you should look for it. There's like a big stain from the third floor window going down, because they were making cider and making it into alcohol, fermenting it. And the thing exploded on the campus outside the dormitory. And she would tell us the story that there's this big stain, and that's her, mark of fame outside Colby dorm, because she lived in the dormitory as well. Anyway, she was hysterical. She had a great impact on a lot of students in the med tech field. She was a wonderful person. I can't believe she's 100. Anyway,
Melba, did you want to say something? It looked like you wanted to say something.
Well, I'm from Maine, and I'm a class of 52, and I remember trying to make cider too in the dorm. We tried to get it to ferment in a closet somewhere, but it never seemed to work out right because we found out it was pasteurized.
There you go. Was Becky in your class? Or no, she would have been probably.
I'm not 100 and some. No, not yet.
No. Do the math there. So 52, right?
But I am 88 though. So
Wow,
Where
that's
in Maine
college
are
must
you?
have been completely different at the time. I love those stories of
Yeah.
the. I always read the class notes of the older alumni. There probably is some wonderful traditions. Can you tell us some of the traditions that you remember?
Well, I did have a big sister. That's what happened with us when I was there. And I kept in contact with her until 2 years ago, all those years. From the time we were 20, we were 86. So it was great. She lived in California and I was in Maine. And we went to visit her one time way back in Anaheim. So we kept contact.
I lost
All right.
her.
Further questions for the students?
You know, when we lived in the dormitory too, you had parietals, and the first floor you were allowed no boys, okay? And that's where I was. It was like all the Catholic girls were there downstairs on the first floor. The second floor you were allowed them to have on weekends. Guys could come on weekends. And the third floor was like the wild girls. They could have guys come anytime. You know? And so you had to choose between the first, second, and the third floors for your different parietals. I don't think they have that anymore, do they? Are the dormitories mixed by floors, or like it doesn't matter, or co-ed? How are
Both
they?
dorms are mixed. Abbey Hall is our only all-female dorm right now. Halls are either mixed by floors or like half of the hall.
Okay. How about the bathrooms? Are the bathrooms men's bathrooms and women's bathrooms?
It depends though. I'm in the basement of Shepherd and it's mixed down here. Because we have 2 rooms that are boys and then 2 that are girls. So we have like 3 bathrooms that are like co-ed, but they're like private bathrooms. So yeah, I guess it just depends on the dorm.
You have your own bathroom, because our bathroom was a shared bathroom for the whole floor.
Yeah, most of them are like that, like communal.
Oh, yeah. What dormitories are you in?
I'm in Shepherd right now.
I live
that's
in
right next
Abbey.
to Colby.
I live in Abbey Hall.
Oh, that was the really crazy one. They always had really wild parties. The Abbey girls.
I lived there my freshman year as all girls, but I'll tell you what, there was more males in there than females at any given time. It was crazy.
How about some of the others? Where are you guys?
So I actually live in Red House, which is one of the student-owned houses, or the college-owned houses, excuse me.
Off campus.
Well, we're actually required to live on campus all 4 years now, but the college owns this property. So as a senior, because they base the system off of credits depending on where you can live, and the room draw and the whole process. But so luckily this year I got to live in Red House, which is awesome. You know, getting a more, I guess, advanced living experience. But yeah, it's great. I'm loving it.
Do you eat in the cafeteria or do you cook on your own?
So I do have a meal plan. I love to cook personally. So when I get the chance, I will. My meal plan, I get to swipe into the dining hall 10 times a week. So I'll usually go for a meal a day. And then on weekends, sometimes I'll go twice.
That's good.
Yep.
That works.
Yeah,
How about
great.
some of the other ones? Where are you?
I'm similar to Andrew, and I live in a college-owned house that's kind of off campus, but still technically on campus. I live in Gray House, which is right at the top of Gould Road. But unlike Andrew, I chose to opt out of the meal plan this year. Living in the houses gives you that opportunity to opt out of the meal plan. So I don't have a meal plan. I cook for myself almost every night. Pretty basic dinners sometimes, but I make it work. I don't mind cooking at all. So it like Andrew said too, it's a great opportunity to have the houses like this and even the Rook apartments that give you more of the freedom and less of a dorm style living, to really expand on your independence and everything like that, working towards the end of your college career.
And that's true. That's a good point. It's also probably better for your waistline. We would just eat. We all gained like 20 pounds. Everybody wore sweats in the end. The freshman 15. Does that still happen? Or that now they probably have all special foods and vegan and, juicing. No?
It's still, I mean, I haven't been this year, but past couple years, a lot of it's been like you have French fry salad for dinner because that's what's there.
Oh, that's what's left.
Yeah, either that's what's left or that's all you really want to eat at that night. So.
Oh, wow. I remember we got up in the middle of the night, and sometimes they had special meals where you get up in the middle of the night, like 2 o'clock in the morning, and the cafeteria would be open. You can go and feast. No?
They do something similar during like finals week where they have like a late night breakfast thing where they have like pancakes and sausages and stuff, but that's really the only late night thing that the cafeteria does. And it's really cool because like during that week or that night, President Stubner's there. She's the one who's giving you the food on the plate, handing you your plate, like wishing you good luck with studying, good luck on your finals. It's really nice. Yeah.
You know, when we were there, I don't know, maybe some of the older alumni that I can't see, I can only see the students. We had a bus that would take us up to Dartmouth College for parties.
Yeah.
I had some friends from my high school in Alpha Delta, and so we would go up there for the fraternity parties. But the bus left at 11, and if we didn't get home on the bus, we had to I don't know how we got home. We either had to sleep in the dormitories or on the couches, the smelly couches. But it was awful, you know, this blue bus. Do they still have that blue bus? No.
We had that. We would go to Norwich because obviously Norwich had a lot more males than Colby Sawyer, so it's like we switched. so yeah, so we had that bus that you're talking about, and it would go back and forth. Yeah, and you were in trouble if you missed it. You stayed where you were.
Oh, at 11 o'clock. I mean, God, I was born in the wrong time. Anyway.
I want to know, I did the campus tour a little bit ago. Are any of you guys in theater? I lived in the theater, and I just saw the new theater room that you guys have, the theater building. It looked amazing.
So we have, in our new Center for Art and Designs, we have a new black box. So that's more for like our intimate shows. So Improv has done a couple of shows there. Our theater group has done our smaller shows there. So more of like our play type stuff. And then Sawyer Center obviously still has our large auditorium theater.
Yeah, I did lights and I did all tech work. I was not one of the actors, but I loved being backstage and hanging the lights and designing the lights and sound, all that kinds of stuff. But yeah, your new building looks amazing. Looks like something I definitely would have loved to have worked in. Are you guys able to do any shows this year?
We're working on it right now with all the guidelines and everything. So it's a lot of just meetings and figuring out how we're gonna do stuff.
Yeah, do you have any social things going on? Like, can you go out in the quad and have a band out there and hang out, or have they organized? Is that off limits?
It's difficult, I would say. We're making it work. Like today, right before here, as the student athlete advisory committee, we worked the thing out with our buddy teams where we would play disc golf with each other. So disc golf was set up in the quad, and we went out and played our buddy team in disc golf. So it's not like the same social events that we've had in the past where we can pack all the people into one room or one building and provide something like that, but we're definitely working things out and finding different ways to have like barbecues on the quad or disc golf and stuff like that. So the school's doing a great job with still creating those social environments even though they are socially distanced.
And last night was a great trial for that too. We had like a halfway party for making it through 6 weeks through this pandemic without getting sent home. So yay us. But the alumni office and student activities office and the dining hall all worked together, and they put on this like really, really great event for us where they had like food. They had Oktoberfest food, like German like food for dinner with like apple cider and apple crisp and all the good things. And then they even had drinks for people that were over 21, which is really, honestly, like they pulled it off really great. and we were able to like distance in Wheeler Hall as well. So I hope for more of those.
Were you all sent home in March? Like, did they give you any time? And how did you get your stuff home? Did your parents come and pick you up, or did you just leave everything behind?
So it was
How
spring
did-
break when so we left for spring break, and so I only took a week's worth of clothes, and I had a little clothes at home, but like then it was like at the end of the spring break we were told like we're just gonna delay it by another week, and then it turned into not coming back. So then they planned out to move out. They did like a staggered thing where you got to sign up to get your stuff. I think it was in March and April and May. I don't remember, but you could sign up to get your stuff and bring it home.
Who knew? You know, who knew the world would be turned upside down? I remember from Italy, I was warning people because we kind of went into a lockdown before everybody else. And they're all like, oh, prayers and thoughts, you know. I'm like, well, you know, guys, prepare yourself. I told my brothers in New York, like, go out and shop for 2 months. You're going to be locked down just like we are. This thing is coming your way. And nobody believed me. You know, they're all like, oh, you're socialists. You know, you just listen to your government. And sure enough, within within a week or 10 days, they were in the same situation.
Yeah.
But it was so scary. I felt like I was like the only voice in Europe, you know, warning the people that I know in the United States. And they're still like, oh, it must be awful there. Thoughts and prayers, thoughts and prayers. Yeah. And it was just like this tsunami that just went across, you know, out to California, around the world. And now we're going through it again.
Yeah.
But I don't think even though the numbers are really high, the contagious results were at 25% in March when they would test people, and now they're at 4%. Even though there's 10,000 cases, it's still 4% of the total amount that they're testing. So
that's great.
It's not as bad as it seems. But it's, you know, I see all the elderly people walking around hand in hand. I think it must be awful to be older and having this thing outside, you know, because it really does affect them. And Italy is just filled with so many old people. People live a long time here, and we have a lot of centenarians, and it's a very healthy elderly community, probably because of the diet and olive oil and the lifestyle. Mm-hmm. But so it was really a real hit when we lost all those people.
Yeah, absolutely.
Anyway.
Hey,
what are some of the new traditions that you guys have? Obviously, you've heard about some of what ours, you know, what some of ours were. What are some of the traditions that you guys have now that you dorms or on the quad, stuff like that?
I guess one that we kind of started last year or 2 years ago with SGA, we started late night barbecues every semester. And that's something that everyone started to look forward to. So we would student government would, cook the hamburgers, veggie burgers, hot dogs, and we would serve them to students. Same thing with, we had like apple cider or hot cocoa, and we did it we kind of messed around with the time. So we tried 9, 10 o'clock, and held it until 11 or so, or before midnight. And people loved it. It was on a Saturday night, so it worked out really well. That's one I can think of.
Do a lot of the students go home on the weekends?
I mean, pre-COVID, I would say a fair amount did. Now we're kind of a little more restricted. So for essential travel, but I would say a fair amount did, because a lot of people come from nearby.
Boston, New Hampshire, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
How about cars? Do a lot of people have cars on campus?
Yeah, definitely.
Mm-hmm. Those roads get really icy. I remember one of my roommates, she had a car, and we would drive up to Dartmouth, and it was like that black ice, you know, that really thick ice. It was super dangerous. I can't believe that we would drive in our car. I think it was so rusted through, you could see the street from it. But we would make the trip. Somehow we lived through it. But I remember that black ice, and that's something I don't miss in Italy, because here you put a winter coat on for fashion. You know, you don't have to shovel your car out. When I lived in Boston, my car was underneath the snow for 6 months, like an igloo, and wouldn't touch it.
Yep, don't blame you. Yeah, we got
Yeah.
a dusting of snow today. I think Dan said he got 2 inches of snow this morning where he is.
You're kidding.
Yeah, I drove down to Main Street and got dunks this morning, and there's like a dusting of snow on Main Street, and I was like, oh, I don't like this. But there's no snow on campus, so we kind of missed it.
It's beautiful and sunny outside my office window now, but Leah heard me say this morning I had 2 inches up at the elevation I live at, and when I drove down to campus, I love snow, but I was relieved not to see it because it's a little early. And
too soon.
Roosevelt expressed
Also in Vermont, they had snow.
serious concern about the snow.
Yeah, but Chicago is pretty cold. I mean, it's freezing there.
It's pretty windy, it is. It's not like New Hampshire, though.
No. How do you like living in New Hampshire, Roosevelt?
I think it's different, totally. I'm just such a city boy. And so there are a lot of things that I do is totally different from being here, but I've enjoyed living here so far. And it's a lot of things that I've learned. And when I go back home to my family, they like, oh, you must have learned that there in college. I'm like, yeah.
It's like taking a fish out of water.
Yeah, for sure.
Such a beautiful place. I mean, we don't have the leaves that change in New England. There's no place like that in the world. I teach my students about foliage, and we try to go out and find colored leaves, but I show them the beautiful leaves of New England, and they're just mesmerized by it's just such a phenomenon. It's really a beautiful place to be. You don't realize it when you're there. When you leave it, I think you really miss it. How many students are in the college now? Student body.
I know last year our student body was around 850, but I know this year our numbers went up, particularly in the nursing areas. I don't know exactly where we are, but I know our numbers most definitely went up for nursing students.
We got a ton of freshmen this year too, the biggest class.
Really? They must have built more dormitories for sure, because when we were there, it was 500 students.
When I was there, it was 500 too. It was just over 500.
Right.
There were definitely new dormitories in the 90s and the first part of the 2000s.
And remember that library? The library was above the cafeteria, and you could sit on the back seats and just look at that field. There's the big soccer field out there, a big, huge piece of property.
That's now for the students, so just to give you a sense of where she's talking about, Ware Student Center, the upstairs part where student development, some of those offices, that used to be the library was.
Library.
Before they built the library in 1986.
The library they have now is amazing. It was my favorite place to go to. If I wasn't in the dorm or theater, I was in the library. It's an old barn that I don't know where they moved it from. It's another location in New London, but they moved it there and they kept all the charm. But they had tons of little lofts and little spaces and things that you could go, and it was just like the coziest library. Is just the best place on campus to be.
I watched the virtual tour on the YouTube.
Oh, I watched
and
that.
Everything is just so cozy, and it feels like just a big home there. It's with carpeting and TV screens and wood, and it's just such a really warm, and it feels like just an extension of your home. I bet to be there. Do you guys feel that way as well? Yeah, love that. The university in Italy is so different. You don't have any of that sort of pampering. They just go to class and that's it. There's no activities.
Yeah, there's a total side chat going on right now that was started by Paula, who was at Colby Sawyer in the blizzard of '78 and wanted to know about skiing and is there still skiing programs? Dottie and Leah started talking about it. Do you want to continue with that?
I don't ski, so I don't have anything to say.
I can take it over. So right now we have free season passes that we get to Mount Sunapee, and the college will run shuttles that go back and forth during the day to bring students skiing. But it's
awesome. The one where you park on top and you ski down?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
That's closed now.
That was King
doesn't
Ridge.
exist anymore.
Oh, King Ridge, that's
Yes,
right.
King Ridge. Yeah, that was open when we were there, and yes, that's where we would park at the top and ski down. Yeah, that's
Right.
where we got passes from, King
Right,
Ridge.
right.
Things
So
have
now we're to
changed since
Mount
we've been there.
Sunapee. Yeah.
Yeah,
Which is
we
about
were
like 20 minutes away.
we were out in the halls, all huddled up during the blizzard of '78. It was pretty scary, but once things got safe, it was the most incredible skiing, and I felt bad because my parents were, in the blizzard. No, they were back here in Massachusetts, and it was just scary yet kind of a bittersweet time. It was like amazing being up in Colby Sawyer at the time. So I just was thinking about that as you were talking, and wanted to know if they still engage those afternoon sessions where you can go skiing and kind of release all your stress, and are they still allowing you to do that during this time?
So right now the ski mountains plan to open on schedule. You have to keep a face mask on, and you have to, when you're on a ski lift, you have to stay with your group. You can't mix groups. And your face mask just has to be worn at all times. But right now they are still planning on running all those programs, as long as the ski mountains stay open.
Wow.
Great. Thanks for the feedback.
Mm-hmm.
We had a big water fight, I remember once. Do they still do that? The dormitory was completely drenched with water. No, I think they stopped that too. It was awful. I couldn't believe people would just dump water all down the steps, and the dormitories were saturated. Did you have that, Kendra, too? Did you have a water fight?
We didn't have we didn't have water fights, but we had food fights, like really bad food fights in the dorms, and I don't know where that came from. They happened very regularly.
Melissa and Kendra, look at all of those student faces right now. Like you are just giving them, you're just giving them ideas.
I could give you some really bad ideas.
No, Kendra, I think we should hold off on that.
we had fun though. We really did. It was good fun. We weren't there to get trouble or anything, but yeah, we knew how to have fun back then. It was a good time. Good friends. We loved the dorms that we lived in. We always cleaned up after ourselves. We never left it. But no, it was fun. But yeah, no water.
We made a time capsule when we were there for my class. I don't know if they ever opened it, or maybe it's still buried, or they were going to open it.
Buried?
I don't know where it was buried, but I think maybe it was going to be open, or we made a new one, or it was 100 years. And I was really excited to find out what was in it. But I don't know. Dan, maybe he knows something about that. It's just, I should look up and maybe ask the office if they ever. Do you remember anything about that? A time capsule?
I don't know, but my colleague Tracy Austin might know, so we'll figure that out. But I know there are a couple classes that have time capsules that I think there are some that are still held in the archives waiting to be opened at the 25th, 50th reunion, whatever they established when they put them together.
Well, this is a year to do one, that's for sure. Fill it with face masks.
Yeah.
And thoughts, and I don't know if any of you kept a journal, but the thoughts that go through your mind with this, I was writing one for a while, and I try to pick it up once in a while, but I think you'll look back on it, and it's probably something your kids will ask you about, or your grandchildren, because it's like a war in a way. And the idea to think that all these cities were just completely stopped. I mean, Rome without tourists in it, or New York without people in it, was just phenomenal, just mesmerizing. It was unbelievable to even experience it. It still is. It's still empty. Boston? Did Boston empty out as well? New London. So you said there's Dunkin' Donuts in New London? We didn't have that. We only had Jiffy Mart and a shop named Serendipity.
Yep.
Is that still there? Serendipity? No.
We went last year to campus, and we went to Peter Christian's.
Peter Christian's.
But it was completely different inside. They must have just redone it or everything. Didn't even recognize it. Recognized the outside of it. But
They had great
yeah.
French onion soup, I remember.
Yep.
There was actually a fire at Peter Christian's a couple years ago, and they just rebuilt the whole thing.
Really?
Oh, So that's why then.
So that's why it looked totally different.
Because I could tell that they had some of the old wood and some of the old things in there that they used to have, and the tables and the seats and stuff. So that was pretty cool to see that. But yeah, I'm like, oh, it's been all redone, but it looks good though.
Wow.
They still had the French onion soup because a couple of us had it. So
Yeah. And then there's the New London Inn. That's where the parents would stay when they came for Parents' Weekend.
But they didn't stay at the Lamplighter? I'm shocked.
I think that was also.
that was also
hotel.
there.
Okay.
Why is that? I don't remember that one.
My,
But
my,
they probably-
my wife is actually from New London, and she's like, that place is still there? It's gross and scary. So,
Does the president still live across the street in that presidential house? Okay.
Yep.
I remember being invited there. That was neat.
well, we have
Neat.
about 6 minutes left. And getting back to what Kendra asked about, which was like, some of the traditions, like from each of the students, what are your top 2 to 3 favorite things about Colby Sawyer that you'd like to share with the alums? And
Yeah,
well,
I
Andrew,
can-
yes.
So really the main overarching thing for me is the people. Because it is such a small comparatively campus, and small community population wise, you're kind of forced into making a lot of different friends and a lot of different connections in different places. And I don't think that I would have maybe been as comfortable being involved in so many different things if I wasn't at a school where it's so easy to get involved, like Colby Sawyer. Like if I was to go to a huge state school or something like that, I don't think I would have felt comfortable joining SAC or joining any of the other clubs that I said I've been a part of here. So that's been the main thing for me. I know everybody here, that student wise personally, and I enjoy that. I enjoy having a big community of people to talk to, and yeah, it's great.
Danny?
I agree with Andrew almost to a T. Like the people here are awesome, from students to staff to even the community who doesn't always love us, maybe not, but they deal with us pretty well. The other thing is, for me, I absolutely love freshman karaoke. It's something that we've been doing, and it is so much fun for orientation. All the orientation leaders and the freshmen come to karaoke. It's a great night, and unfortunately this year we weren't able to do it. But I've been talking to the campus activities board, and I'm hoping to get that to happen second semester, where we can have just the orientation leaders and the peer mentors, the people who are there early, do that. It's really a fun night where everybody kind of steps out of their comfort zone, meets everybody, they're all together, and that's where the community really starts to take shape for those incoming freshmen.
Rebecca?
I have to agree. I love the people here. Everyone's really open and nice. I also really like how there's an opportunity for everybody. There's an opportunity for everybody to get involved no matter what your interests are or the type of person you are. So yeah.
Roosevelt?
I was just going to agree to Rebecca. There's so many opportunities on campus in different areas for students to get involved in, no matter their interests. Another thing I want to say is I just enjoy the staff and faculty support. They're always willing to help us wherever we, need help, especially our advisors. Like my advisor alone is like my school father, and I just enjoy, knowing that I have someone to go to if I'm having academic problems. So I would say opportunity and support.
Dottie?
I definitely have to agree that a lot of it has to do with the people, but I think going to a small school has allowed us to go to those school events and it not be seen as like a weird thing to go to. Like going to Wacky Bingo when I first got here as a freshman, I was like, there's no way I'm going to that. But when you find out that literally everyone goes, it just gives you this amazing sense of community.
Alex?
I think a big aspect on why I came to Colby Sawyer was the sports, because I know like socially coming in and having like 28 guys as my friends like immediately during preseason, you get acclimated. It's just like really, really nice. Then they introduce you to everyone else. And also like the small campus, like everyone else said, is awesome. Like I'm always like walking down the hallway in Ivy, like trying to see my professors, like, hey, like I have a question on this. Like I pester my professors a lot. I came from a small high school. So like it was just really good for me to come here.
Leah?
For me, it would be like, so since I'm from the city, like coming here taught me how to slow down. Even though I talk really fast, that's one of my personality flaws that I still keep from the city, but it taught me like to actually like slow down, listen to what's going on outside if I'm walking, to not like just put headphones in and tune everything out. Like I can just walk without headphones and say hi to people that I never used to do in the city before. I don't say hi to people. So it taught me like how to just slow down. I got to be here this summer, even through COVID. So it really taught me how to kind of embrace nature, which sounds kind of like generic, but I got to like look at the stars at night or just listen to all the crickets and the frogs and everything in Susan Swamp, and stuff like that. And then the second thing for me is that like everyone's kind of saying is like every like, I guess like the barriers of entry, if that makes any sense, like they're very low. So like within students, like no one cares if you're a freshman and you're friends with a senior, like it's not seen as weird. And same with like different majors, like you don't have to just stick to your clique of majors and people that you're in class with. You can expand to literally anyone else. And then same with like faculty, with professors, like you can go to their office hours and it's not weird. And like then you can build a relationship with them, whether it's like sticks to more academic or becomes more personal and mentory. And then with staff, like same thing, like with senior staff, you can email any one of them and if you have an issue and they will respond, like they're super receptive. So that's something that I love about how small this school is.
Well, it is exactly 4 o'clock. Can we give a big virtual round of applause for our students? And also, of course, for our wonderful alumni that are gathered around too. So thank you so much.
Oh, that's great. I really enjoyed it. It's really neat to meet all of you.
Yes.
If you ever come to Italy, give me a call.
I've already written your name down, Melissa.
Yeah. After COVID. Okay.
I think we're all praying for after COVID.
Oh, God. Yeah.
Thanks,
So,
everyone. This was really
thank you,
fun.
everyone.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It really was. Good luck
Thanks.
with everything and good luck with your futures. Hang in there. It's going to pass. Think positive. It's really great meeting everybody.
Yeah, and Dave,
Thank you.
Dave, thanks for running a couple of great events. I really connected with them. Thank you very much.
Oh, thank you, Paula.
It was really well done this weekend. I think, that's just part of like Colby, was everything is done with such care and it's like the Disneyland of colleges, I say. They put so much love into everything they do, and you can see it just even in this alumni weekend, the way it's organized. No college does that. Who does that? It's really special. So good luck with it.
Thanks, Melissa.
From Rome, ciao, ciao.